Last season, Bryan Sawyer came up big to win the driver's title, narrowly defeating veteran Josh Mertz and wonderkid Kieran Liflander. With Liflander winning most of the races last season, he expects to do much of the same this season, making the title defense for Bryan Sawyer one of the toughest in NASA history. Can he hang on, or will he make way for the next generation of Rallycross racers? Tonight, we finally get to find out. After a long hiatus, the NASA Rallycross Lights World Championship is back for season 2025A here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We go green at America's Home for Racing live next on ASN. Our venue for this evening is the virtual Charlotte Rallycross circuit. Located at Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina, this 0.83-mile layout combines sections of the infield road course with dirt jumps and tight hairpins, delivering an exciting mix of asphalt and off-road action. North American Simulated Auto Racing started visiting Charlotte's modern layout in 2021A. The circuit features a quirky start and turn one, where the spotter can incorrectly call a driver to one side or the other when they may not be there, causing confusion and chaos. Its fast-paced layout and the stadium setting provide an electrifying atmosphere, making it a fan favorite on the iRacing service. In NASA Rallycross, our format is as follows. We are finishing our open practice now, which is going to lead us into a 3-lap single-car qualifying session that splits the field equally into 5-lap heat races, with the Joker lap taken once. The top 2 will transfer to the feature automatically, with the winner getting 3 bonus points and the runner-up getting 2. The rest of our drivers will be sent to the semifinal, also 5 laps with 1 Joker lap. The top 2 will transfer to the feature, and the winner will receive a bonus point. This will set our grid for the 10-lap feature race, where the points are awarded and the trophies are handed out. Unique to NASA Rallycross, 2 Jokers are taken during the feature. The 6th season of the NASA Rallycross Lights World Championship commences today, live on the Automotive Sports Network. With Josh Darnell in the production truck and also next to me in the commentary box, my name is Ethan Halsey, as we welcome you to the 3rd running of the Charlotte Grand Prix. Cameras all season on ASN are brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/WSimCams. Thank you, Andrew Cardinal IV, for your continued camera support. Finally, the intro music for the NASA World Feed was produced by Alex Abetti. Let's bring in Josh Darnell here into the booth. Josh, it's NASA season once again. Do we bet against Kieran Liflander, or will anything hinder his domination of this series?
Honestly, Ethan, I think it's really I'm excited to see what Blake Smith can do. He's been really fast all season and seems to be one of the few drivers that is able to keep up with Kieran consistently on track. At least in practice, it seemed that way past couple weeks. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see what all these drivers can bring out here. I'm not very familiar with the lights, but it's Rallycross nonetheless. So I think I could handle my own.
Absolutely. It's going to be quite a thriller here tonight. 9 cars getting ready to grid, or excuse me, actually might be 10. I'm mistaken. 10 cars ready to grid here tonight. Kieran Liflander, of course, in the field once again, dominated last season, winning almost every race he won. I believe except for one of the dirt-only tracks last season was the only race he did not win. Some of the other races he wasn't there for was the reason why Sawyer was able to run away with the championship. Like I said, this season for Bryan Sawyer, it's going to be a tough title defense. Defending champion, it's a heavy crown to have on your head, especially coming into a brand new season. How do you expect Bryan to do? We expect him to be run up front just like he usually is? Do you expect him to take a fight to Kieran Liflander?
I mean, when it comes down to some of these drivers that we have in this grid, I really think it's going to, like, I'm excited to see what the pace that these guys have improved and see if anyone's been able to put down any, like, solid lap times. And try to keep up with Kieran. I know that all these drivers have been working really hard over the past couple over the off season, so I'm excited to see what they've learned. I'm hoping that we can see some contention for the championship here. It would definitely bring a little air of excitement to the thing, to this competition, but only time will tell. I'm hoping to see. I'm sure we'll see some mistakes. I'm sure we'll see a lot of action, typical rallycross fashion, door banging and stuff like that. Nevertheless, I'm excited to see what Bryan definitely can bring, especially coming off a hot season.
Absolutely. And looking at practice times here so far and what lap times drivers are setting here in our open practice session, Kieran Liflander showing why he's been dominating this series. An entire second faster than anyone else in the field, with the fastest lap time on track at a 43.023. Blake Smith running a 44.057. He is the second place driver. So pretty tight throughout the field behind him, but Liflander far and away the fastest driver. As practice comes to a close and we get ready to start our qualifying session. Just a reminder, it is a 8-minute qualifying. Every driver is going to get 3 laps and it's single car. So there's not going to be any traffic that you're going to have to worry about during qualifying. And you get nice 3 laps to put down the best lap time possible. It is the strict qualifying setup. So if you do tap the wall or incur any kind of X, your lap does not count. So speed is almost just as important here in qualifying as keeping the car clean. Let's take a look at who is on track. Several cars are. See Gerald, JP DeFino is on track. Eric Kaplinger. Josh Mertz is on track. Claimed at the end of last season he was going to retire, but, well, as any racer does, you can't quite fully retire from racing. Mertz is back once again, ready to go, and in a brand new JC SimSport paint scheme here. Beautiful looking car on that number 2. See what he could do. If you like, why don't we go on board, Josh, and why don't you take us through a lap here with Josh through the Charlotte Motor Speedway?
Oh God, you put me on the spot.
Josh going around currently right now, setting his first lap of the race at a 44.9. Blake Smith currently the fastest on track, a 43.599 at the moment.
The camera's not working. Oh, that's
good looking lap time from that number 7 car. However, the 20 car has not set a lap yet, so of course we expect him to be, well, far and away faster than everybody else as he's usually been. Eric Kaplinger up into second and immediately gets passed again by Bryan Sawyer in the 88 car, who does a 44.108, putting him second on the board. Great lap time for that 88 car. Not quite up to Blake Smith. Now, Blake Smith usually is he is a futures driver. He is not full-time in the series. But, Josh, a fantastic lap time from that 7 car.
You're telling me. He's 5/10 up right now. He's almost 5/10 up.
5/10 faster than any other car on the grid currently. A great lap time for that 7 car.
Kieran hasn't been able to put down a lap yet, but he's up. He's purple right now.
Kieran Liflander going purple as expected.
No.
Oh, comes to a stop there on lap 2.
That was his second lap. This is it.
That was his second lap. So this is going to be the money lap right here, the next one he takes.
He's in the pit right now. He went back. He's not on the track anymore.
Interesting there for the 20 car, not on track. Watching on here with the 845 of JP DeFino. One of the newcomers to lights, was a Futures regular last season, got promoted up to lights for this season, part of the Saints and Sinners squad. Had a solid run last season in Futures, winning several races at the beginning of the season, as well as the first race in lights last season at Sonoma, in what was a thrilling finish there with Robbie Kirtley running out of gas. And now he gets to race full time with the big boys. So it looks like nice and easy around the track here is the 845, as he has completed his qualifying run. Meanwhile, Liflander is back on track, running his final lap here of the race, coming around the hairpin. We're coming onto the pavement. Let's see what the 20 car is going to be able to put up. Will he take the pole, rounding the final turn? And coming across the start-finish line is a 43.515. Good enough to put the 20 car at the top of the pylon.
My goodness, cutting it close there, though.
Absolutely not nearly as dominant there as his practice time would show. Blake Smith, to be fair, ran a 43.9 in practice, stepped it up all the way to a 43.5 in qualifying. A great run there. Yeah, let's take a look. It looks like I don't believe anyone is on track currently. Eric Dubois, it looks like, also another Futures driver, is rounding out his final lap. Currently sitting in the 7th position with a 44.588. Coming across the line here for lap 3, it is a 44.847, not quite enough to best his previous lap. And I believe he is the last car on track. Zachary Goddard in 10th did not set a time. I believe he is done with his laps. Unfortunately, all 3 must have had X's along the way. But running down the order, Kieran Liflander qualifying, it looks like on provisional pole, 43.515. Blake Smith with a 43.599 in second. Bryan Sawyer, Eric Kaplinger, the 2 moist cars, 3rd and 4th. Josh Mertz, the seasoned veteran, coming in 5th. JP DeFino in 6th. Eric Dubois in the 000 in 7th. Klaus Kurtzer in the 77 in 8th. Brandon West in the 888 in 9th. And Zachary Goddard rounding out the field in 10th. Goddard in the 29, that's another JC Simsport car. He also, like JP, a full-time promotion to the Lights Series this year for the 29. Showed a lot of speed last season, won a couple races. So a warranted promotion for that 29 as he looks to now capture the Lights title with some of the big names in the series. Yeah, but overall, as we get ready to go into the heats here, about 2 minutes left of qualifying. We'll see if qualifying gets advanced here. It looks like everyone.
Yeah, I don't see anyone on track.
Lap times.
I think it's because of I think it might be because of Goddard.
I believe so.
I'm not seeing. Although I'm seeing 3 laps.
Yeah, Goddard, I believe, has. I see 2 laps here, both zeroed out. So he might have 1 more lap left that he doesn't know about. But Josh, going into tonight here, as we're about to get ready to take the green flag for the heat races, what are you expecting to see here tonight in these heats?
Honestly, I'm thinking I'm not thinking there's going to be a whole lot of chaos. I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of clean driving. Although turn 1 at Charlotte's always interesting, so we'll definitely keep everyone on their toes.
Now, I just ran the Futures race here just an hour or 2 ago. And I can tell you as much, it is a chaotic turn 1, albeit I was racing at the back almost the entire time. But when they say that the spotter says phantom calls there in turn 1, absolutely does. It is very sketchy going around this track. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the Lights drivers handle it here tonight. As it looks like we have about 45 minutes here. Or seconds, excuse me. Oh my God, if we had 45 minutes qualifying, it would be a podcast at that point. My goodness. Yeah, so here we go. 30 seconds here left until our heat races begin. And then we'll get ready to see some racing action for the first time since October. It's been quite a long off season here for the NASA Rallycross World Championships, but here we are. We're back I know I took a hiatus at the end of last season due to an illness, so great to be back at the booth once again covering this series. I always enjoyed it last season and ready to get going here this season.
It's going to be exciting for sure, Ethan. I am anxiously awaiting the Supercar series. I'm excited to see what the contenders drivers can do.
Tomorrow night, Supercars. Monday night, 9 Eastern here on ASN.
Oh, that's contenders.
Get ready. Sorry, that's contenders. You are right.
Don't pull the rug from underneath your feet like that.
Supercars is Saturdays at 2 Eastern, still on ASN, so don't worry. Heat 1 is getting ready to grid. Kieran Liflander will start on pole for this heat with Bryan Sawyer, Josh Mertz, Eric Dubois, and Brandon West. Top 2 will automatically advance to the feature from this race, and then everyone else will be sent to the last chance qualifier or the semifinal. Like, we are waiting for all the cars to grid here. It looks like just one more car yet to grid. I believe that is the 88 of Bryan Sawyer. There he is. He's popped up as we get ready for the lights to go green here on a brand new season of NASA Rallycross. Lights have dropped. We are green. And a fantastic start from the 20 car, Kieran Liflander, who jumps clear and far in front of the field with Bryan Sawyer right behind him in tow. Everyone's strung out single file here. It is 5 laps of racing here with 1 joker taken. Meanwhile, in the back, Brandon West in the 888 looking on the 000 of Eric Dubois for a second. Tucks right back in behind and settles in. Ooh, I think I heard a little bit of wall contact there, I believe, from the 20 car, Kieran Liflander. Come up to the first joker here. We'll see. Liflander out in front, quite a ways over Bryan Sawyer. So we're going to have to hunt him down here. See, coming to this hairpin now, I know Josh has quite a couple of different lines that you can take to a hairpin. I noticed a lot of the top drivers starting to use that high side a little bit more so than the low side of the track.
As people have sort of, as this league has progressed, I've seen more and more drivers start to take that line. And in fact, if you can get it right, it is about 3/10. It's about 2/10 quicker.
Now, Bryan Sawyer took his joker that time by, exited quite a ways out in front of Josh Mertz. A solid run there for the 88, getting out in front. Yeah, Brandon West and Eric Dubois battling in the back. Brandon West got the advantage of Dubois during his joker lap. And now that leaves only the 20 car of Kieran Liflander left to joker. Now, the delta here is usually about 3 seconds, 2.5 if you take the entry correctly. So being that currently he's got about a 6-second lead at the moment, he doesn't have much to worry about there. Delta. Right now, Bryan Sawyer in the last remaining transfer spot. Josh Mertz hunting him down in a battle that we have seen all too much of in the past between the 88 and the 2. Certainly friends and co-workers and co-owners off the track, but on the track, bitter rivals. These two have come together plenty of times over the course of NASA Rallycross, and even sometimes tempers have flared between the two of these drivers.
I think it goes with any racing series. Friends are, I mean, you can be as much friends as you want, off the track, but on the track, it's elbows out.
Sure, it's definitely a quite a different atmosphere when you get in the race car, slinging dirt on the track. That little bit of contact, which Rallycross definitely invites, tends to cause some some tempers to flares. We're on the final lap here. Kieran Liflander, far and away out front, has yet to take his joker, although even when he does, he will still come out in front.
He's on the other end of the...
Yeah, here he comes around the joker.
He's on the other end of the hairpin.
Rounding the final turn, heat number 1 will be taken by the Wonder Kid. Kieran Liflander wins the first heat here tonight. You know, Josh Mertz also close to Bryan Sawyer, but can't quite get him. Bryan Sawyer transfers along to the heat, sending Josh Mertz to the semifinal.
Brendan West, P4. Eric Dubois, P5. Rounding out
our 2 of them, keeping it clean. They'll have to find their way to the feature through our semifinal. All right, heat number 2 is getting set to go underway. The other fast car of the night, Blake Smith, starts up front here. Eric Kaplinger, JP DeFino, Klaus Kurtzer, and Zachary Goddard round out your field here for this one. You have 2 JC Simsport cars, a Moist car, a TWRS car, and a Saints and Sinners car. So quite a mix of some of the top teams here.
I'm excited to see this race, man.
Lights are off. Green flag. Great start for the 277 of Kaplinger. Getting a jump on Blake Smith early. Smith with the preferred line here. Goes down to the inside and will get out front. But my goodness, what a good start from that 277. You know, side by side behind him, Goddard and Kurtzer. Goddard will get the better there and will keep himself out in front. Oh, Blake Smith is around. Blake Smith into the outside wall and is facing backwards. Oh, my goodness. What a heartbreaking turn 1 right there for the 7 car.
He's got time to make it up, man. He's just got to keep his head down.
Absolutely. Oh,
there's a time to make that mistake.
Especially with the pace that he had in qualifying. He's got his work cut out for him.
Elbows out.
But meanwhile, it is a hornet's nest. All 4 of the other cars are in contention for this one here on lap 1. Smartly, JP DeFino will joker there to get himself into some clean air. Blake Smith will as well to try to recuperate some of his time lost. But right now, it is the 277 of Eric Kaplinger in the driver's seat for this one.
It's a close race, though. All 3 of them bunched up.
Goddard is hunting him down, knowing that a joker is still to be taken here. Let's see the strategy
Good
here. I imagine Kaplinger waiting a little bit longer since he's in clean honor. Yeah, Klaus Kurtzer goes way wide there off the turn. I imagine the 277 waiting to take his joker here to try to keep himself in clean air. Indeed, he does. The 29 of Goddard will dip down. Let's see where he comes out relative to the 845 of DeFino. And it looks like the 29 is going to clear him comfortably.
Yeah, a very comfortable lead. Eric's heading fastest lap.
For the 29. Now it's going to be about Klaus Kurtzer, where his joker comes out. Again, Delta about 3 seconds here on this track. The gap between them about half a second. So Goddard's got the advantage on the 77. And it looks like Kaplinger should have the advantage as well. We'll see where they come out here on lap 3. And the 277 of Kaplinger rounding the turn. Once again, will not joker, keeping himself out in clean air. Klaus Kurtzer does not as well, also trying to maintain some strategy. Trying to keep Goddard in dirtier air here. Try to see if he can hang on here to the last second. Seems like, so depending on where you are in the field, sometimes it's beneficial to go early, but sometimes it's beneficial to just wait till the very last lap to do it to try to catch your opponents off guard.
You know, it really just comes, for me, it always came down to taking the joker, to knowing that I had the gap at all times. Like, taking it on the last lap sometimes gave me anxiety, thinking like, you know, if you wait to the last lap to take it, that's it, man. You can't make any mistakes. You better drive clean the rest of the way.
Kurtzer ducks down, takes his joker. Kaplinger, however, opts
to be close with DeFino.
Lap. It is going to be close with DeFino.
He clears him, though.
Barely gets him, but DeFino's got his sights set on him here as we head into the final lap. Now the question is, for the bonus points, Will Eric Kaplinger hold on to his lead, or will Goddard be able to jump him in the Joker? It is very close. The delta of the Joker about 3 seconds. Goddard about 3.2 behind.
Very
It is
good
going to
turn.
be a very tight battle between these two. Let's see where he comes out. Kaplinger rounding the hairpin here. He's going to duck down in and take his Joker. Meanwhile, Goddard on the main track, coming around the final turn. Kaplinger and Goddard, they're side by side, and at the line, Kaplinger will get him by 0.05 of a second.
Oh,
my goodness, what a close one there. Kaplinger will keep and Goddard will transfer to the feature. My goodness, what a close finish that was. Whew. And we're going to take a deep breath after that one, but we don't have very long to do it, as now we have the semifinal. Josh Mertz has the preferred starting position here. Klaus Kurtzer, Brandon West, JP DeFino, Eric Dubois, and Blake Smith now going to have to start all the way at the back. Boy, he's got his work cut out for him. But he's got a fast car, and I have a feeling if anyone's going to do it, should be that
he has
car.
He has a lot of work cut out for him.
Green flag drops. We are rolling, and look at that 2 car with a great jump off the gun with the inside line. He should have no problem keeping the lead here. And look who's following him through. JP DeFino in the 845, slinging by the 77 of Kurtzer to take the second spot. Remember, 2 cars transfer here from the semifinal to the feature. DeFino now in the transfer position. But don't look too far back. In 4th place is that blue and red car, that 7 car, Blake Smith, who was bad fast in qualifying, had that mistake on lap 1 in heat 2. Expect him to be very argy-bargy as he puts the bumper to the 77 of Klaus Kurtzer and muscles his way around the 77 for 3rd. He is hungry.
Force Klaus to take his Joker.
Yeah, good move there for the 77. Get out of the way of that 7 car before anything else happens. Kurtzer will Joker, and so will Eric Dubois in the 000. Now, Brandon West in the 888 not hanging too far back from this battle.
He's in,
right now, the battle for the transfer is certainly heating up. Oh, here we go.
Goodness.
Blake Smith
Too
gonna
wide.
try a crossover move. DeFino wide in the hairpin.
Way wide in the hairpin.
And opens the door for Smith, although DeFino gets that grip on the outside.
They make contact. He barely misses the rumble strip.
DeFino down into the Joker. Smart move by the 845. Get out of the 7 car's way. Brandon West will also Joker. And DeFino actually comes out behind the 77 of Klaus Kurtzer. Kurtzer now in a great position here to transfer. Smith and Mertz have yet to Joker, and the delta right now sitting at about 2.7 seconds. That 77 car looks to be in good position.
Klaus just needs to focus on maintaining his line.
Yeah,
forget about the early contact.
Beating the bumper off of his car owner, Josh Mertz. Smith ducks down for his Joker. Let's see where he comes out relative to the 77 of Kurtzer. I think Kurtzer's got him. Kurtzer's got him by a good
it's margin going to be here. Very close here.
DeFino and Smith close. Now Smith has got to hunt down that 77 car. But remember, Josh Mertz also, I believe, still has to Joker. We might see that 2 car fall a little close here. That delta is going to cut it very close. Currently, Klaus Kurtzer 2.4 back. Blake Smith 3.2 back. It's going to be tight.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no, and Blake Smith and Brandon West and, oh, my goodness, and JP DeFino, they all make contact. Oh, my goodness. And the luck of the 7 car turns from bad to worse. Wow.
Yeah, there's damage on Brandon. There's a lot of damage on the front end of Brandon's car.
A lot of damage.
Same with JP.
A lot of damage to the 888 of Brandon West in the 845 of JP DeFino. Wow, with only 2 to go, huge incident into the hairpin.
Yeah, that's
all their chances at transferring tonight. And Blake Smith was the second fastest car in qualifying. What a shame.
You know, Ethan, that's just how sometimes it doesn't matter if you're the fastest. If you're not,
coming around the final turn and crossing the start finish line, Josh Mertz wins the semifinal, and Klaus Kurtzer gets to move on to the feature as well. Wow, what an eventful race we just witnessed right there. Beating, banging, and a little bit of, unfortunately, a little bit too much banging there going on into the hairpin.
Some drivers getting a little bit too comfortable with each other out there.
Absolutely. Now we'll get ready for the feature here. We have a 10-minute warm-up, so while our drivers get warmed up and get ready, we'll get warmed up and ready as well. We'll be right back here from Charlotte, North Carolina.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to NordVPN.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost.
welcome you back to round 45 of the championship overall and round 1 of the 6th season of the NASA Rallycross Lights World Championship here in Charlotte. With Josh Darnell in the production truck and also next to me in the commentary box, my name is Ethan Halsey as we welcome you back live on the Automotive Sports Network. Cameras all season on ASN are brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/WSimCams. Thank you, Andrew Cardinal IV, for your continued camera support. The intro music for the NASA World feed was produced by Alex Abetti. If you like what you see here on the Automotive Sports Network, be sure to like and subscribe on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube, and ring the bell to be notified of our live streams on our weekly, along with our short-form video content as well. If you'd like your content broadcasted by ASN, you can contact us at asntvUSA.com. If you'd like to race in NASA, we have something for everyone. All the info is at nasasimracing.com. Now, I know, Josh, you don't have the graphics for the programming notes, but I'm going to read them off anyway. We have this Monday, NASA Rallycross Contenders will be going live at 9 Eastern. That'll be with Bryan Sawyer and Justin Robshaw. That is tomorrow evening. Following that will be the Torque IndyCar Series. That will be Tuesday night, going live at 8:30 Eastern. That will be with Stephen Moreau and Josh Mertz in the booth for that one. The NASA Rallycross Futures, which just happened before, will be covered by Josh Mertz and Bryan Sawyer on tape delay. That will be on ASN Plus. If you're interested in taking a look at extra content here from the crew at ASN, as well as being able to watch the Futures broadcast, be sure to take a look in the description for ASN Plus. It is only $2 a month, and it's absolutely worth every penny of that. Following that, on Thursday, you get Torque Sports Car Series Season 7 this week on Thursday evening. That will be around 9 Eastern. That'll be Bryan Sawyer and Josh Mertz in the booth for that one. And then we get to the big series, NASA Rallycross Supercars World Championship, this Saturday at 2 Eastern with, once again, Bryan Sawyer and Josh Mertz in the booth. Boy, a busy week here on ASN, a busy schedule here on ASN. Great to see NASA and Torque going on here at the same time. So much great content for all you guys to be able to watch. We're excited and happy to be able to bring it to you.
Ethan, before we get into this race, let's go back and take a look at what happened with Blake.
Yes, let's take a look at that. Absolutely. If we have the replay, let's pull that up here. This is the end of Heat 2 for those of you just joining after the ad break. Blake Smith, one of the faster cars all evening, unfortunately got caught up in a tangle in the hairpin with JP DeFino and Brandon West.
It's right here. I grabbed it.
Let's take a look here and see what happened. Well, that was the hairpin. I think that happened on lap 4, I believe.
Here we go.
All right, we think we might have it here. Oh yes, everyone's all close together. This is about right. Let's see.
My bad, everyone.
7 of Brandon Smith right there. Let's see.
It's in real hot.
Big dive coming in hot there, trying to make the transfer.
And then everyone just gets collected.
Calamity going on behind him.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know really what to say there. It was definitely a very bold move, to be sure.
For sure. I mean, at the end of the day, he was trying to make the feature after a frustrating first heat race, so he definitely just, was trying to really get the most out of his car there. But yeah, just unfortunately, just a bit of a deep dive there, and unfortunately, just couldn't make it stick that time.
I get it. Like you get anxious. You want to make. You had a bad first heat. You're anxious to show your speed, and you get out there and you just go guns blazing. And I mean, Blake's a good guy. I'm sure he didn't. I'm sure it just comes down to just track time and just track knowledge and how to approach these turns. But we got to make better decisions out there, people.
All right, now we have about 15 seconds left until our warm-up ends. So let's pull up the grid here for our feature race, a 10-lap race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. on my end here. Kieran Liflander will start on the pole position with Eric Kaplinger, Bryan Sawyer, Zachary Goddard, Josh Mertz, and Klaus Kurtzer making up tonight's 6-car feature event. All right, warm-up has come to a conclusion, and the cars are now getting ready here to grid. So we get ready for, well, the biggest race of the evening. The heats and the semifinals are certainly exciting, but there's nothing like the feature race.
Trying to get a good camera for us here, but everything seems so zoomed in.
We have 5 of the 6 cars.
There we go.
Here we go.
Sorry about that, everybody.
All 6 are gridded. We are getting ready for lights to go green. Green flag is in the air. Season 1 is underway for NASA Rallycross as Kieran Liflander gets a fantastic start there in the 20 car.
Lemony in the back.
Clear and ahead, and meanwhile behind, issues for the 29 of Zachary Goddard and the 77 of Klaus Kurtzer appear to make contact. Meanwhile, the boss man Josh Mertz has appeared to slip through, and he is right with the rest of this group.
Sawyer and Kaplinger 1-2. That's exactly where they want to be right now.
Yes, with Liflander out in front, you have the 2 moist cars running 2-3. Fantastic night that would be for that team, double podium, but you know Josh Mertz isn't going to quite let them down that easily. Around here, remember, 2 jokers in the feature event, so Josh Mertz already taking his first one. Smart move there by the 2 car, the veteran, taking himself out of traffic and putting himself in some clean air.
Klaus after the collision. It looks like his car is okay, not too much damage. It looks like they just maybe got hooked and turned around on each other.
As Klaus Kurtzer does the same, takes his first of his 2 jokers as well. Just trying to get his strategy out of the way with the incident that happened there in turn 1.
Eric Kaplinger and Bryan Sawyer very close together. Kieran Liflander seems to be
not joker. Josh Mertz
Kieran is
takes
certainly
his
pulling away.
Joker. Yeah, Liflander pulling well away, keeping himself very much out in front, and well, that is the dominance that we're used to from last season. Liflander, basically every race he was at, basically just maintained a steady dominance of the field, kept himself in very good order there. Now Josh Mertz took his 2nd joker of the evening, so his strategy is now done for the night.
So at this rate,
it's just exactly giving himself as much clear track as possible. Now it's just about driving the track as well as possible and trying to see if he can leapfrog the 88 and the 277 to get himself on the podium.
I am feeling very certain in my senses here that Kaplinger is going to run defense.
And both the 88 and 277, a little bit of team strategy there. Both take their first joker. Well, you look at the delta between that 277 and the 2, and it's about 2 seconds. So Mertz, with the 2nd joker that the 277 has to take, is likely going to have the advantage there.
100%. He's closing as we speak. The gap is closing.
Meanwhile, Liflander 4.7 seconds.
Josh Mertz is taking that turn so much more precise. He's taking all these turns more precise. Kaplinger's wide on a couple of them. He's got to tighten up those lines if he wants to build this gap up.
And of course, Josh Mertz, the super veteran of the series, has been around since season 1 and has basically raced every single race NASA's ever run. So if anyone is the king of Rallycross, it is certainly the man in that 2 car. Said he was going to retire at the end of last season. I guess he couldn't stay retired for too long. Had to come out and run another race.
Like the Green Goblin mask.
Absolutely. I don't believe he's full-time this season, but going to run when he can. And, well, it's always great to see him out there on the racetrack. It's definitely going to be sorely missed not running for a championship, that's for sure.
We'll see what he has in him. I mean, like, anything can happen, you know? While this race is starting to fizzle out, you want to go take a look back at the beginning and see what happened at the start?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at turn 1. See what happened between the 77 of Klaus Kurtzer and the 29 of Zachary Goddard. Here is the start there. The 29, that kind of purplish car on the inside. Klaus Kurtzer. Oh, it looks like Goddard just got a little hung up on one
He
of the,
just got hung up.
I believe that was the 88 of Bryan Sawyer he got hung up on.
Josh Mertz has definitely closed that gap on both of these cars. Bryan has seemed to have slowed down a little bit, or maybe he took his second joker.
Yeah, Liflander, I know, just took his second joker in the race. And meanwhile, it looks like the strategy is done now for all three cars. Or actually, no, the two of Kaplinger still has to take another joker.
Kaplinger has the last pin in the grenade still. He's still on the strategy. If this race for Josh,
Mertz, who's right behind him, Mertz really does not have to race him whatsoever here.
Kaplinger's going to stay out. He's not going to joker unless Josh Mertz gets past him. He's not jokering.
Yeah, he's going to play defense, try to keep as much distance between the 88 and the 2 as possible until he inevitably ducks down into the joker and lets Josh through, although that very likely might be the very last lap of this race.
Yeah, Josh is just... Kaplinger's getting a better line. He's getting the hang of it as the track grips up. He's starting to get more and more inside. But Josh is just... He's surgical every single time he takes that turn, man.
Yeah, that's what almost now 13 years of Rallycross experience, both on iRacing and on NR 2003, does for you. Basically gives you almost a superhuman vision of these tracks and knowing where every little ounce of grip possibly is.
Bryan Sawyer is starting to build a little bit of a gap to these cars.
Yeah,
Kaplinger's doing exactly what he needs to do.
Meanwhile, as Liflander continues to run away, has now expanded his gap to a nearly 10-second lead over that 88 car. Boy, that 20 car is fast.
Yeah, that is... that's some crazy speed.
It is some superhuman type speed. Liflander, one of the up-and-comers in the Rallycross community. Certainly, I think he has arrived at this point.
Up-and-comers might be a bit of a stretch.
Absolutely. He's one of the best Rallycross drivers in the world. I mean, these really are world-class Rallycross drivers here on iRacing. It doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah, don't let Kieran fool you guys. All these drivers out there will give you a run for their money. We just have a couple aliens in this league for sure.
Yeah, like you see the supercars on Saturday, and it is the best of the best. That might as well be the iRacing Pro Series with the amount of talent and the amount of drivers over there in that series. Unbelievable what they've built here at NASA. Basically just kind of becoming the mainstay of Rallycross. You want to run Rallycross and iRacing? You come to NASA. That's
on a side note, Kaplinger final lap dived off.
Yep, with 2 to go, Kaplinger jumps out of the way, and Josh Mertz now has quite a bit of time to make up here. About 2-second gap to Bryan Sawyer as we take the red flag this time by.
Just needs to go clean. That's all he has to do.
Just keep his nose clean, and he's got a second place finish awaiting him.
Oh, not what you wanted to see from Josh. Hitting that curb at the end there. I mean,
Liflander is on the pavement, rounding the final turn. The Wonder Kid is back. Kieran Liflander wins race number 1 of the Lights World Championship here at Charlotte. Meanwhile, the rest of the field's got to catch up here. Bryan Sawyer coming out of the final turn. He will take second on the podium, and Josh Mertz, the veteran, rolls across in third. Kaplinger comes in fourth. Zachary Goddard in the 29 in fifth, and Klaus Kurtzer rounding the final turn now will round out the field here in the 6th position.
Goddard and Klaus both are some of the fastest, 2 of the fastest up-and-coming drivers I know. Don't let this race fool you, anybody. Just some bad luck on both these drivers tonight. I'm sure they'll bring it back hot next week.
Yeah, a lot of up-and-coming drivers in this series, both in futures, in the series below this, and in lights as well. The future of Rallycross and especially in NASA is bright. A lot of great young drivers coming up through here. I'm very excited to see how this season plays out and see if we have any comers and goers throughout our time here.
It's so nice to have this series back.
Oh yes, after a much long-awaited off-season since October, we've been waiting for this to come back.
It's so nice to have something to look forward to.
Finally returned for 10 weeks of dirt slinging races. You can't get any better than this.
Hey, don't let the fun stop here, guys. Head over to Torque too if you love that GT3 action.
Absolutely, definitely head over to Torque. I love those Torque plugs for some great GT3 racing that happens on Thursdays.
You
All right,
know
well,
I
it
love
looks like
myself a NSX.
yes, absolutely. That Acura is a great car to drive. All right, looks like we have all three of our drivers here in the media pen. So let's get started with some interviews. Well, why don't we start from the bottom of the podium and work our way up? Let's bring Josh Mertz into the ASM booth. Josh Mertz, this is Ethan and Josh in the ASM booth. You got us? How's it going? Well, I know at the end of last season, you said you were retiring from racing. You said you were stepping away. And here you are, first week of 2025A. You're back again, and you're here in the booth with us again, sitting here on the podium. Well, how does it feel to be on the podium? And, well, I knew you couldn't stay retired too long. Yeah, so retiring mostly from the full time, but still racing. It's always great to see you out on track. I know you've been racing in NASA for, my goodness, what seems like forever. Basically raced almost every track configuration, whether it was here or NR 2003, basically everything. But take me through your race as a whole. Coming in with no practice, still being able to get to a podium. How do you feel like you ran tonight? No, as always, we hope to see you on the track. I know, as from league owner to league owner, it's always great to run your own series, even if sometimes you're not the most competitive. I know you're pretty competitive over here. I'm certainly not competitive in mine. But anyway, who do you have to thank tonight for your performance here in NASA Lights? Absolutely, very excited. Well, thank you, Josh, for coming up. Great run tonight. Enjoy your third place, and well, if we see you next week, hope to see you up here again. Absolutely. All right, that was our third place finisher, Josh Mertz.
I told you, Ethan. I told you it was Team Orders.
Yes, I guess it was. Well, speaking of team motors, let's bring the captain of that team up into the chat. Let's talk to Bryan Sawyer here, our second place finisher. Bryan Sawyer, this is Ethan and Josh in the ASM booth. You got us? All right. Well, second place finish as the defending champion. Certainly a great run here for you tonight. I know we just had Josh in the booth. I know he said you guys were talking the media pen about some team orders that may have happened. I'm assuming that was involving the 277. They're holding him up. So I guess we kind of assumed that was the case. But just take me through your race overall and how it feels, being the defending champion. Do you have that extra weight on your shoulder here for you this season?
And beautiful. Well, there we go. Now we can hear me. Hi, everybody. There we go.
All right, there we
We're
go. All
live.
right,
To let
sorry,
everyone know.
everyone. We got it.
Yeah, to let everyone know, we're fixing the stream live, and I'm terribly sorry. Josh gave a lovely interview, and we love him to death. He thanks his wife Chloe and everyone else.
Hold on. Bring it.
This is
bring
Bryan's
Josh
interview.
This is Josh's interview. Run it back.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the audio's not working.
We've just fixed it. We're bringing Josh. Take your interview.
Another interview.
Yes,
you gotta ask me everything you just asked me. Then
I do. Again, I do have to ask everything. We're gonna do this all again for you. Well, you came out of retirement. We know that already. You had you're here part time, not full time in the series. So take me through your preparation. You said you didn't get a lot of practice. As per your choice, you just hopped in the sim at 6 p.m. And just kind of started rolling with it. So, take me through how different this feels compared to the past, where you're getting all your track time and everything.
I'm having a fun time sitting with the guys in the Discord channel and being like a driver coach to them in the futures, and then we're recording the futures, and that's recording the futures broadcast, and that's fun, and just not stressing about getting practice during the week. And I guess it's inside baseball therapy. I am so used to being stuck to this sim rig for my entire life that it's finally broken that away. And not having to drive and not having to stress is great. And yeah, the race was interesting. I took my jokers at the beginning, and then I got stuck behind Cap because him and Bryan did some marvelous team orders, that was cool to see. And I'm just stuck behind Cap. I can't figure out a way around him. I made a couple moves, and I said in the group chat, I said, it feels like 2017 when I got stuck behind Chris Wetz, and that's not a thing that I'm not used to. And yeah, no stress, having a good time, and it's just different. I guess this is growing up, as Blink-182 said, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just kind of grow it into the not quite retirement, but semi-retirement, as we call it. But take me through your race as a whole. A third place finish is certainly a good result, especially for the fact that you don't practice. And I imagine a lot of that just comes from your overall experience. I know you've been racing Rallycross now for the better part of 13 years combined here with iRacing and an NR 2003. So I imagine that probably has a lot to play, and the reason why you feel like you don't need a lot of practice. You probably know this track by the back of your hand by now.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound disrespectful, but the fact that we only have a certain amount of content in cars, I mean, it gets to a point where you can only do so much practice. I mean, no disrespect to Mr. Kieran Liflander, right? He's one of the fastest kids in the world, but how are you still finding speed? It's just, I don't know, but I tell my guys, it just comes down to how many laps you run. And my race, like I said, if I recall, I think I jokered a little too early, got stuck behind Bryan. The track started coming to me, and then I said, one more lap, I would have had you, but whatever. And then the semifinal was okay. I think I just led from the start and didn't have an issue. And like I said, the feature went well. Was concerned about turn one, even though there was only 6 cars, and then just got into the groove and got stuck behind Cap. And here we are. I told the boys, I said, if I make the feature, that's a win. But if I make the podium, that's like a championship now, especially with just showing up and driving. So
absolutely. And one more thing I'll add as well, and this is something I didn't ask on the previous interview, but taking the racing helmet off and actually putting on the hat for league owner Josh. Now, I know NASA, of course, has been around for a long time, tremendous growth, but I feel like now especially the future looks bright here for NASA. Just take me through how it feels just to see influx of support, not just for futures, but for lights as well. And so many seemingly young and upcoming drivers coming through this series. It really feels like a rejuvenation, really, of NASA and of Rallycross in general. This really is feeling like a world-class championship now. So just take me through how it feels to kind of see the growth that you've experienced over the past couple seasons.
It's been, it all comes down to back in 2022 when we were close, and it was all by me, and it was very dark in my life, and I considered closing it all up. And I'm going to give my wonderful wife Chloe another shout out. She posted on the Discord back then, said, if anyone's going to help, otherwise we're closing up. And then Bryan and Justin stepped up, and we got Maddie that stepped up. We've picked up Eric, Stephen Moreau. It's just the team that we have is always pushing forward. My little slogan on Discord's never settle. You don't want to settle. You don't want to get complacent, get into a rut. And it's wild to see. I look at these spreadsheets and there's 30 guys for futures, I think. And lights is fine. I told the guys earlier. People in the Discord, and I just remember when I had to beg 5 of my friends to make an official race on NR 2003, and now I can sit back on Mondays and not do anything and watch the race and do race control on the futures. It's just awesome. It's super cool, and I'll just
yes. Well, thank you for coming back up for another interview, Josh. And like I said previously, if we see you next week, I hope to see you up here again. No problem. All right, that was our 3rd place finisher, Josh Mertz. Now, Bryan Sawyer, our 2nd place finisher, is already here. Welcome back to the booth there, Bryan Sawyer.
Hey, I'm here. How y'all doing?
Absolutely. I hope we just got Josh's interview.
You got most of it. Like the last little bit got cut off for some reason. It's no big deal. We're running it now.
All right, perfect. We're rolling. Like I said, first week back, we got just a little bit of kinks to work out. But anyway, take me through your race as a whole. Solid run there. I know you're the defending champion. 2nd place finish is certainly not anything to slouch at, but take me through your race as a whole. Seemed like a pretty clean race from you, running 2nd there, and it seemed like you had a little help from your teammate keeping Josh at bay.
Yeah, I got a wall. His name is Eric Kaplinger. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going for a championship this season. I know it's not going to happen. Kieran is probably going to be here more races than not, and yeah, I know he had some hurricane problems last season. Well, it's not hurricane season this time of year, so he'll probably be there. And I don't think he's going to any races, so he's probably going to be here for all the races. So I don't hold a candlestick to his time. Blake's pretty fast. My only goal is to beat Josh. I just want to beat Josh. We want the team championship. So our goal for tonight was we saw it's us two and the JC Sim Sport cars in there. So our goal was just to finish each of us ahead of one of them. So Eric started in 2nd, and I got through real quick. He let me through right on the start, and the whole goal was, hey, stay there. Josh jokered right off the start. I'm like, stay there and just we're going to play defense. We're going to run defense this whole time, and we'll see how it goes. It worked out well. Super, super happy that everything worked and nobody died. So, yeah. But we're running for team championship. We got 2 drivers in futures. Hopefully they move up most of the season to lights. They're both pretty quick. So, yeah, we're going for teams in both of those, hopefully.
Yep, absolutely. Hope to be able to get them and hopefully have a couple of your drivers moving up to lights. They seem pretty quick. Yeah, but I know you touched on it briefly there, but take through as a whole, does it really feel any heavier this season knowing that you're the defending champion, or you feel like the weight's mostly off knowing that, the wonder kid is going to be here full time?
There's no weight. All the weight came off when I won last season. I got my name put in a little book. That's all I care. My name's in the book. It says total season victories 1. We're good to go.
I'm pretty sure you won 2 races last year. Actually, I think you did.
Well, no. I mean the season championship. 1. Okay. Yeah. So I'm happy with that, and yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Well, anyone you'd like to thank for your 2nd place finish here tonight?
I got to thank my wife, my mom, Eric's mom, Tom Grady, who's not on our team this season. He's expecting a child in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be a grandpa according to Josh Darnell here.
I bet you're so proud of your children.
Yeah. I don't know if I thanked Eric's mom. Eric's mom watches all these broadcasts, so throw that in there. And that's all I got.
I thank Eric's mom.
All right. Well, thank you for coming up here, Bryan. Hope to see you up here in the booth with us again next week.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You as well. All right. That was Bryan Sawyer, our second place finisher. And last but certainly not least, let's bring up our race winner, who we've been waiting for a little while. Let's bring Kieran Liflander up into the ASM booth. Kieran, this is Josh and Ethan in the ASM booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, a little bit of a wait there due to technical difficulties, but here we are. Once again, another win for you. I know you've basically been the dominating force here at NASA for the most part. Just take me through your race as a whole. Seemed like it was pretty clean for you, and seemed like it was pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah, testing obviously started many months ago, and or whenever the schedule came out, excuse me. But yeah, this track has always been fast, or I've always been fast at this track, and had to help my new teammates, Darren Canfield and Kevin Bolland, who both did good tonight in futures. Sadly didn't make to the lights, but yeah, glad to get a three in a row, one in 2024 A, B, and now 2025 A here at Charlotte. So yeah, it was very consistent, and the setup was very good. Had a hiccup in Q on laps 1 and 2, and really wanted to get a 42-second lap down, and didn't unfortunately, but still got the pole nonetheless. Yeah, other than that, it was a very good night, and like you said, smooth sailing. So yeah, very happy.
Absolutely. Now, I know there were a couple of factors, unfortunately, last season that unfortunately kind of made you come a little short in the championship last year. Of course, you're the odds-all favorite to take the championship this year. What likely is going to be dominating fashion. Are you really expecting anything less here this season, or is it's championship or bust here for you?
Yeah, it's championship or bust. That is that's what I have in mind. This may or may not be my last season in NASA, and probably a full-time driver for my team and Team KLR, and just in general, because wrapping up high school, and this season is going to end right at the beginning of May, which is around where I graduate. So I don't know how much time I'll be able to have in my hands, and if I'll be able to run 2025B. So I want to make this season the most, or I want to make the most out of the season. And yeah, next week should be really fun. Atlanta Long, I haven't raced there with all the NASA guys yet, and a few of them I have in the past. But yeah, with the whole format and everything, it should be fun, and can't wait.
For sure. Well, you have anyone to thank for your win here tonight, Kieran?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my mom and dad. They're both watching. Dad isn't slumped at this point. He's out. He was actually managed to stay awake. Jokes aside. My sister watching along with my mom, my girlfriend, and other friends that are watching. Teammates, Advin, Yokohama. Yeah, everybody that's on board and supporting alongside. And yeah, my side quest, as many know, is me going for 10K. So all of them are supporting me trying to get 10K as well. And yeah, that's everybody I had to thank, and I guess I'll try to be in here next week.
Absolutely. Well, hope to see you next week here, Kieran. Thanks for coming up. Be sure to soak in that win, my man, and we'll see you next week.
All right, see you.
All right, and with that, that is all of our